everyone, welcome to PM Clips. PM Clips is a series of mini video lectures that I will be doing in the course of the whole semester. Each PM clip would either give some insights about the PM topic, or an introduction or a closure to the topic at hand. For today, our topic would be the 10 lessons learned by the ghost of MIS students past. Okay, so we have a saying about history. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. So what I'll do is I'll give you the most common lessons learned from the past 15 years that I have been teaching PM to the MIS students. And I am hoping that these lessons from the ghosts of MIS past will help you succeed in your journey in this class. The first of these lessons we learned would be communicate. We all know we have to communicate with the client, but sometimes in the heat of some decision or programming by just your team, we do not even bother going back to the client and verify if that is what they really want. Take note also that there are other people you need to communicate with. Me, as your advisor, your team members, maybe your past professors to ask about a certain implementation issue. In the world of project management, keeping the communication lines is always important. The second one is documentation. So document everything, and I mean everything. You never know when a certain issue or problem or conflict between you and another person involved in the project would arise and cause conflict. Have a ready document which contains a baseline agreement or discussion or conversation would really help straighten up things, or it might serve for you as a starting point for further clarification and discussion. Also, documentation is necessary once you turn over the project to the company or another person in the company. You would need them to understand the system so that they can be better organized and prepared to manage it themselves. Third lesson learned. If I'm not mistaken, you've already chosen your groups, and most of the time, your group members are your friends. Please take note, sometimes working with friends is not necessarily an advantage all the time. True, you might already know each other's skills, weaknesses, and strengths, but are those skills, weaknesses, and strengths that you want, are the ones that you want to help you move the project forward? Okay? Also, chismis lang ha, I've had situations wherein magkakaibigan nga sila. Meron akong boyfriend at girlfriend dun sa isang group. Pagkatapos ng isang taon, split na sila. And dahil split na sila, hindi sila makaalis sa kanilang group, there's tension in the group. Meron naman akong situation na dati, ano lang sila, friends lang sila. Tapos anong nangyari? Biglang naging boyfriend at girlfriend, or boyfriend-boyfriend, or girlfriend-girlfriend. Ano nangyari? Because they're in the honeymoon phase, ayun, they're always together to the detriment of the group members dahil ang pinaproject nila ang bawat isa sa kanila. So, take note. Think again if you really want to work with your friends, or if you're already working with friends, know the boundaries between friendship and business. In this case, the project. Okay. Fourth, do not put your trust in the programmer's word. This is a little bit controversial, and no, I'm not disparaging programmers here. But there's a certain class of programmers na, let's say, sasabihin nila, kaya ko ito, kaya ko yan bro. But at the end of the day, they can only program when their creative juices gets flowing. Yun bang malapit na ang deadline ng project ninyo, and yun isang programmer na yon magpo-program lang siya at may inspire lang siya the night before the deadline. Naghihintay kayo. At pag na-inspire siya, tapos ang whole program ng 2 hours, anong nangyayari sa inyo? from the time that he's finished, all of you are scrambling to create all of the other things, documentation, paperwork, just for you to submit the project on time, or at least the program on time. I have encountered a lot of these situations over the years. If this does happen, try to talk to them and find some ways to compromise. Fifth lesson: always have a backup plan. You never know when something comes up that will ruin your schedule, or maybe suddenly you have a virus that will hit your laptop, or your internet connection will suddenly get cut off. When that happens, be sure to have a plan B. Or as some of my former MIS students say, you have a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, tapusin mo na hanggang plan Z. Sixth lesson learned: never underestimate how simple a task is. Even if your task is just quote unquote set a meeting with the client, based from experience, you do know that it does take some time to coordinate not just only your schedule, but their schedule and your team members' schedules. That would also include, oh, should we get a grab car going there? Kailan tayo magkikita? Anong oras tayo magkikita? Okay? Uh, and that's just a simple set a meeting with a client. E paano kung pinagawa ko sa inyo, create a new load revision program or system for the Ateneo? Seventh lesson learned: go the extra mile. Um, the thing about clients sometimes is that they always want to feel that one, they are involved, and two, that you would always like to surprise them. Okay? In order to further satisfy them, it would be nice to put some small bells and whistles that would give them delight. It could be an unexpected function in the program. It could be a report that they did not expect but you added, or even maybe something as simple as a beautiful user interface design. Eighth lesson learned: be ready in this class to evolve. To be honest, all of us had to evolve this time of the pandemic. Even I had to adjust. Everyone had to make concessions, even me. It was not easy to cut down topics in this class, but I had to. And as you go through your project this semester, keep this in mind. Be open to adjust your own behavior, your thoughts, your ideas. Be open to any changes that is required, because that is the most effective way to keep on moving forward. Now, the last two for me are special, and for me, this is the heart of both you as an MIS student and as a project manager. Ninth lesson learned is good planning does not necessarily mean good implementation, and vice versa. Over the years, I've seen some students who write good PM plans, but they did not follow them as they implemented it. These people were either just submitting the plans that just for compliance to me, they just need the grade, or they were too optimistic about their plan that they did not consider the risks involved, or they were too confident and they were not realistic about how the plan was made. On the other hand, I've seen a lot of groups who had very bad project plans, but they were good implementers. They were good negotiators, they were good influencers, they were good motivators, and so on. But they sometimes cannot plan, or not sometimes, but they cannot plan, period. Because they don't have the structure and discipline necessary to plan for a project. Sa Tagalog, magaling sila sa diskarte. What I hope is you have a good balance of both. And lastly, IT is an investment. Prove its worth. Over the years, I have seen a lot of IT projects fail. Why? Because for them, it's all about the technology and not about the business. One very vivid example for me is the case of a parochial school in the province. This is run by nuns. where I was asked to be a consultant in. Their first question to me was, "Sir, how much really does an online system cost?" I told them, "Depende sister, bakit? Kasi naglabas na kami po ng 1 million, wala pa po kaming nakikita. Puro papel lang." I asked them how long was the last time they talked to the programmer. They said 3 months ago. And they have failed to get in touch with them lately. Sensing despair, and to make a long story short, the programmer did not deliver and the sisters lost 1 million pesos. To be honest, that 1 million pesos could have been used to build 4 more classrooms, which would directly allow them to accept more students, resulting in an increase in revenue, or hire more teachers and increase their salary, thus increasing the quality or improving the quality of the school. These are much more practical reasons that would help them and the school rather than go with the trend of doing an online registration system. In all these 10 lessons learned, the common thing would always be the concept of balance. Project management is always a balancing act between being a science on one end and an art on the other end. As such, there are always two dimensions that we need to learn: the technical and the social-cultural dimensions, where the technical focuses on the activities needed to plan, execute, and control the project, while the social-cultural focuses on the activities necessary to lead people in doing the project and buying into the project. So we should end up really tackling both. For the whole semester, and and through both the synchronous and asynchronous environment, you will have to gain the knowledge of project management through readings, discussion, researches, exercises, and then apply it on theoretical cases and situations, and then really acquire that skill through an actual handling of a PM case. The next pages that come after this one focuses will now give you and focuses on an overview of the requirements and the expectations of this class. So with that, this is Sir Olpok and you're watching PM Clips.